Hello, entrepreneurs, dreamers, business owners, and happy people with high hopes. Welcome to Cashflows with your host, Cash Matthews.
All right, good morning, friends out there in the world. Good morning, Joanna. Morning, Kenneth. Glad to have everybody here today. Yeah, we're kind of in between that lull. I know we don't like to time date our shows, but we're coming on to a new year here, and I wanted to document that New Year's coming. How was 23 for you?
23 was great. Yeah, a year full of change and surprises and fun.
Yeah, are you a meme guy? Are you like one of these, hey, this is my year kind of guys? Or are you?
Oh yeah, I like to pontificate on things sometimes.
I like to pontificate on that. Okay, well, so we're going to tell puns and dad jokes today.
That's right.
Well, I think this is a good place for it. As it's always weird for me going into a new year because I don't celebrate it. Like, to me, if you're not doing the work in August, the following year, it's not going to matter. Like I think a lot of people get lit up, but there's a reason why the gymnasiums are full in January and empty in February.
Yeah.
I think people give up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just interested. This is a more interesting year for me. 2023 was an interesting year. Just personal challenges and business challenges and meeting and hanging out with new people and running this thing called the B.O.N.G. And we started a fraternity.
We did. You're sporting the jacket today too.
Yeah, because what else do you do when you're 62 years old? You start a fraternity.
Yeah. Now we know you're supposed to spell B.O.N.G. B-O-N-G. Now, how is it spelled there on your fraternity jacket? What are the names?
That's B-O-N-G. That's Beta, Omega, Nu, Gamma, because it's actual legit fraternity.
Legit.
We got a handshake and
certificate and everything.
Certificate, hazing.
Yeah. Which, not bullying. But
we've eliminated all the bullying.
That's right.
Our hazing thing actually is quite fun. We go to a local ice cream store and we spray whipped cream on each other, and that's part of it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You have to say thank you, sir. May I have another? if you haven't watched Animal House, you should.
Oh man.
It's a legit fraternity, man. With we've got do's and don'ts and maybes.
I thought you were going to say dudes, and then I was just waiting for the end of that. But do's and don'ts, I got you.
Well, okay, hang on. Everybody's a dude to me. I said that to a lady the other day, and she's like, "You just called me a dude." I'm like, dude, of course I did.
Dude.
So, hey, dude. I don't know. We're all just kind of people.
I call everyone a crackhead.
Okay, well.
That's different.
There you go. I mean,
more letters than that one.
Well, yeah, it's okay. Well, that's confused. That's why I went to OU instead of OSU, because it was easier to spell.
Yeah, I can understand.
So, big decision. So anyway, welcome to Cashflows. Glad everybody's here today. Our philosophy is fire, aim, ready. And we talk a lot about taking action and moving forward and, making things happen. And we do talk about the things of the good life. And we like to interview people that are actually taking steps towards their own good life. And we like to learn from them. And we like to share those challenges, those things they've overcome. I like to share the disappointments as well.
Yeah.
I think there is value in, and I don't want to call it failure, but I think there's value in a challenge that we've overcome. And that's why we like to interview people and go, hey, we know you've had challenges. Tell us how did you overcome them? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we do, I don't know if you saw this last week. I was on MySpace.
Right.
My MySpace account.
Yep.
I was putting up some new music, putting up some Bee Gees music, and man, my MySpace page is hot. It's awesome. It's happening.
Oh yeah.
And it's bedazzled.
I can imagine.
And we were, I'd gotten a new disc, one of the new CDs from AOL.
Yeah. Got some more minutes.
So I had some more minutes to go log in, and I was logging in and, talking to Chatmaster 32 coming in. No, he's from Wewoka, Oklahoma.
Wow.
And he's like, hey, do you actually know Kenneth B.O.N.G? I'm like, I do, yeah. He goes, can you ask him a question for me?
Okay.
Chatmaster 32. And so here's a question for you from Chatmaster 32. He's like, hey, ask Kenneth B.O.N.G this question. And here's what he wanted to know was like, hey, Kenneth, what's a guy like you doing in a nice place like this?
Wow. Well, Chatmaster 32, thank you so much for that question. That seems like a really important question to ask every single time we do this podcast. And so Speaking of, the challenges that people have overcome, and we talked in our last podcast about technology and
Right.
just kind of how it has improved life. There's some new things. I don't know if you've heard of Tesla at all, Elon Musk, that crowd, right? So he's
Yeah.
on his way to Mars. I got lost on my way to Mars.
Oh.
So I'm just checking to be sure this is not Mars, right?
This is not Mars.
Okay, so so that's what happened. I'm lost on my way to Mars, but we'll figure it out.
There's a line from one of my favorite artists, Joe King Carrasco.
Oh, really?
And not known here in Tulsa, Texas guy, but he has a song. And one of the lines is flying through space a million miles an hour, stopped off at Mars to take a meteor shower.
Wow.
Yeah, so good timing on your part. Chatmaster
I
32,
feel like that
Kenneth,
would hurt.
Kenneth thanks you for the question.
That's right.
And he did say, don't make me come out of my mom's basement to come and ask
That's
this in
right.
person. So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you for filling in there.
So he sent it to you on the discussion board
On
MySpace.
well, he's Chatmaster 32.
The bulletin board there.
I'm like, why not Chatmaster 31?
It was already taken.
Yeah, anybody can do 31. 32, that's the ticket.
That's where the money is.
All right. Well, we are excited today to have Joanna Reynolds in the studio with us today. Our studio audience,
right here in the hallway.
Keep it coming. All right.
Yeah.
We call her Jojo in the business world, and we're happy to have her here. Her company is called Looking for Help. She runs a home cleaning business, and man, for like in my world, that's valuable.
I agree. That's why I started my company, is because I wanted to bring value to people's lives and make it to where they could enjoy more of what they wanted to do instead of spending so much time doing things that
they don't want to do.
Yeah, that need done, but they don't have the time or the energy or the focus to do it.
I was thinking about maybe making an advertisement for you and then just have you video, like follow behind my 15-year-old daughter and my wife. I'm a clean dude, man. I keep things organized, but man, my girls, they are tornado. And they can leave a mess everywhere they go. It's fantastic. And I think I want to videotape them and go, hey, is this your life?
So your home has a nice lived-in look. Is that what you're saying, or?
Lived in, thrashed. We have a friend that's in the insurance business, and they came into our house the other day, and they're like, "Oh, did you file a claim?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know, tough times in the Matthews household.
It's the same in mine. I have 3 grown men, and now my grown daughter and her 5-year-old there. So.
Oh man, so you get a walking tornado in your house. Well, my 15-year-old daughter Sarah, I want to just call her out, and she is.
She'll appreciate that.
Well, I want to say it delicately, but she's a slob. And
most
in the
teenagers.
nicest way possible.
I just find it difficult that we have to clean our house with industrial strength blowers and a power washer. And anyway,
on the inside.
On the inside, yeah.
That is every house in America that has a teenager in it.
And a white-haired dog. So
yeah,
we're saving up all of his hair in a big basket. We're going to make a coat out of it.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, or sweater or something like that.
Well, that's better than how they did in 101 Dalmatians,
I don't, what'd they do there?
Well, it's they didn't wait until the hair fell out naturally.
Oh, they made
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I've forgotten that in all the trauma. That's.
Yeah. Did you cry through that movie? Is that what happened?
I don't remember. I've blocked it out, man. I need to get some counseling.
It was a Disney thing, so it's all pretend anyway. But
got it. All right. Well, we're here with Jojo today, Jojo Reynolds, and her business is called Looking for Help. And I think you're in the right place at the right time, because I think everybody's looking for help.
they are.
And what a cool name for your company. And so let's we're going to talk first about your experience in the B.O.N.G group. We want to get to know you a little better, but the B.O.N.G is one of our sponsors today. It's how we met. And if you wouldn't mind, take a minute, tell our listeners and viewers what your experience has been with the B.O.N.G, how you found it, whatever you want to say about it.
Well, where the B.O.N.G is concerned, I was looking for a couple of networking groups to help grow my business, and I went to a couple, and they required that you meet every week at a certain time, and there were dues, and I just didn't think that would fit very well into what I do. So I Googled some more, and my Facebook page brought up the B.O.N.G group. And I thought, well, cool. Anyone who knows my husband knows that that would be a cool thing in his opinion. So I clicked it. Thought it might be something he'd like to join. And then y'all accepted me in, and I watched it for a week or so, and I'm like, these are kind of cool posts. So I think that was the week before Thanksgiving last year.
22, right?
22.
Yeah, more than a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, that would be kind of cool. So I went to December's live event.
Right.
And I met so many people that it was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Just from that day, I set up like 4 or 5 one-on-ones.
Wow.
And realized that that was where it was, because I was born deaf. So with cash around, there's always music playing.
Yeah.
It is very difficult for me to hear, and I have issues with my voice, so it's very difficult for me to project in a setting where the music is in the background.
Oh, right.
So I set up one-on-ones, and I realized that way I could get to know everyone without the added background.
Right.
So that's what I do at the Bong live events, is I just set up one-on-ones like crazy. And then I realized that I could really get to know everyone, and I have been with Bong since then, and I've probably done over 300 one-on-ones.
Wow.
And
That's awesome.
yeah, I love getting to know everyone, and I realized that with Bong, the more you put in, the more you get out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
The more time I spend making those connections, the more that my business has grown, probably by 350% in the last year.
Can you
Wow.
repeat that?
Close to 350%.
Wow. Okay, so this group that and to be clear, we've all co-created it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we invite a friend, we invite our neighbor.
Yeah.
We've all really co-created this group.
Yeah.
But we start to see stories like yours, Jojo, where your income has doubled or tripled or quadrupled.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just from getting to know people. I think I want to say this in the right way, and I don't want it to sound wrong, but I think authentic friendships I don't want to call it a currency, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a new way towards a kinder, gentler business.
Yeah.
Does
I
that make
agree,
sense? Am I
yes.
saying that in a way that people would get?
I think so.
And so we adore you. Like, we have had a great opportunity. And for those that don't know Jojo, and I want to dig in and ask her some questions that I've got on my mind. But she's one of the kindest people. Before every big event, we have a setup day,
Mm-hmm.
and she's the first one there. And like a couple times ago, I'm watching, and she's telling people, she's like, took over. And in this world, we need leadership. Our world is starved for leadership. And you walk in and you see somebody exhibiting leadership. For me, that is tremendous when you meet a leader.
I raised a lot of kids, so it's an automatic.
It's a
I'm
default.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
kind of mama everywhere I go. So when I see something that needs done, I either delegate it or figure out how to do it myself.
Well, you're great at that. Well, let's dig into who Jojo is. I know a lot of people in our group love you and talk about you a lot. Who do you talk about? Who's your hero? Let's just start. Let's just jump right in the middle and talk about who in your world.
That's a pretty easy question. That would have to be my mom.
Yeah.
Um, she and my dad separated when I was 9. We left and came to Oklahoma from Amarillo, and she worked 3 jobs, and I did what needed to be done, and she taught me to be who I am. I ran the house, I cleaned the house, I paid the bills, I did all the grocery shopping, and in that, she created the who I am now by needing me to be who I am now then.
Right.
And I know that a lot of parents would think that that's crazy, but she is my hero, because if I had had the childhood that a lot of other people have, I don't think that I would be as successful doing what I do,
Right.
because it was a necessity.
So she out of necessity gave you the ability then to dream of something and
Yes,
go get it.
exactly. I mean, she's my hero because I never saw her give up. I saw her working 3 jobs. I
That's
saw her needing what I do now, but there wasn't such a thing 30 years ago,
right.
35 years. Oh, Lord,
Mm.
35 years ago. So, therefore, now that my kids are all grown, it's given me the chance that I can be that person
Right.
for a single mom or a single dad or even retired people that are doing other things and or don't have the physical ability to do it anymore.
Right.
So she taught me to have that care and compassion and drive to be whatever it is someone else needs.
You know, it's one of the things I've noticed about you in in this process of getting to know somebody. You watch them. You know, they
Mhm.
can say what they're going to do. That's cool. Cool
Yeah.
story, bro. But
Yeah.
when you watch somebody do their thing, and Joanna, one of the things I've noticed about you is that when somebody needs something, you're first in line. Whenever there's been a tragedy, we've had a couple of situations where somebody lost somebody, and Jojo, you were the first one to go, "Hey, look, if a house cleaning would help you on this path to recovery, I'm in, no charge." How where's that come from?
That
Is that
again
that straight
comes
from your mom?
from my mom. My She taught me that a home is supposed to be a place that you can relax and that you cherish and that you want to go to every day.
Mhm.
But for many, many, many people, they walk in and all they see is everything that they need to get done.
Right.
So they're like, I don't want to go home at night. Well, when you've had a tragedy, you know that people are going to be coming to your home. And the last thing that you want on your mind is, oh my God, my house, who's going to judge me for that? And
Right.
I wish that that wasn't the case, but for everyone in the world, that's our thought.
Mm.
I'm having Christmas this week, and I thought I was going to have more time to get the house cleaned up,
Yeah.
but I don't.
Mhm.
Or my husband passed, and I'm going to have 50 people in my house bringing me things, checking on things. They're not going to be worried about how clean or dirty my house is, but I am. So I wanted to make sure that that wasn't their main focus,
Mhm.
that that's done and they could focus on funeral arrangements or
Right.
spending time with family or just grieving. So if I can do that and take that away from them, that anxiety, then that's what I wanted to do. And I'm actually in the process of trying to create a nonprofit that will fund me to hire cleaners that do
That
just
can
that.
go out and do the same thing you've been doing. I think it's
Mm.
remarkable
Yeah.
when you just see somebody doing it and they're not doing it for show. They're not doing it for visibility. They're just doing it because it's the right thing to do. And so we here at the Cash Flow Show, we want to like recognize that and go,
Yeah.
that's kind of a big deal. So, so you did. I like what you said that your mom needed help, and you did this by kind of by default.
Basically.
Um, Tell me about turning this thing you did as a kid into a career, because I think that's beautiful.
Well, when my boys were little, my middle son thought that everyone needed a mother like his. Because of that,
Right,
that empathy and that compassion and he loved that he knew that if someone needed something, I would never turn them away.
right.
Which is, in fact, how I met my husband. My first two lovingly adopted kids he brought home, and 22 years later, we're married.
All
But
right. So but you always had a house full then because your kids were bringing.
my middle one, Gabriel, he brought everyone home because whether they needed a pair of shoes or whether they needed that their mom was losing their crap because they were working so much that they couldn't get things done.
Mm.
So then I would get to know the parents and I would work with them on how to create systems so that they wouldn't lose their crap anymore. God only knows, 20 years ago, I didn't realize that it could be a business.
Right.
I didn't realize that that was a thing.
Hmm.
So I just did it for free for 20 years.
Wow.
And then I was working at Family Dollar, and this lady comes in and she goes, I need some help. I don't know what to do, but my husband just left and I've got 4 kids, and I was thinking, that's what I want to do, but I still didn't realize there was a market for it.
Hmm.
I got tired of working at Family Dollar, so I started at a housekeeping service. And I realized that that service was awesome. Well, I went to a few houses, and clients were like, well, can you do this? Packing up stuff in a bathroom that she didn't need.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't get down there. She had had hip surgery.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, no, I can't. I can't go outside of the parameters of what the company said.
Yeah, what they had scheduled you to do. Sure.
And so I'm like, she's like, well, can I pay you to come do it on a weekend? I said, no, I don't think so. Well, so I thought about it and I thought about it, and I attempted to start the business doing just that, little things. Well, I didn't know how to market myself, so it didn't take off very well. So I gave up, went back to work for another housekeeping service, cleaned Airbnbs for several years for a lady. Loved doing it. I loved being able to walk in and see that the guest had trashed the place and then make it look pretty again.
Right.
Yeah.
And know that the next people coming in were going to walk in and be like, oh, all relaxing. So I did that, and again, a friend called me up and she's like, I need help with the house. Can you help me? So I was like, yeah, cool. And so I tried it again on the side of the Airbnbs. Again, didn't figure out how to market myself. I'm still not sure I've got that under wraps, but I'm getting better at it. And again, I ended up with like 20, 25 clients, but not enough to be able to quit doing the Airbnbs. And so I went back to work for a different cleaning service because that's what I love to do. And fast forward a year and a half later, something told me, and I'm a person of faith, so I believe it was God telling me that this is the right time.
Yeah.
In April of 2022, I figured Facebook had blown up as much as it was, and if I could market myself well enough on it.
Yeah, Facebook's been good for that. It's been a good place to build friends, but also
to build
illustrate your business. Yeah,
yes.
Good for you.
So I got onto every Facebook group I could find, and that would allow me to plug in even once every couple months, and started posting. And before I knew it, I had 60-something clients.
Wow.
In 2022, looking for help, did 290 services, and in 2023 we've done 640.
Wow.
Wow. You can
Very cool.
double that.
A double one, yeah. Let's do it again.
Yeah, there we go. Wow. Well, Joanna, that's awesome. Before we go on and learn a little more about you, we're going to do a quick studio break where we say thank you to our sponsors who bring this show to life. Kenneth.
Sure thing. All right, today we're going to talk about Elevate Coworking. Elevate Coworking is where local business owners connect, collaborate, and grow. We offer a community of tools and resources to fuel your passion and your productivity. Elevate your future with us here at Elevate, where success is not just achieved, but celebrated together.
And I love the co-working concept. You know, this wonderful building that we're in, and it's different. I think the world of commercial real estate has really changed.
Oh, yeah.
And my former office was 11,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're here located in the lovely Elevate co-working spaces. And I have 180 square feet.
Right.
And just as productive as, when I had an entire football field as an office. So anyway, well, we're glad to be part of that network. Well, let's go on. We're here with Jojo Reynolds, Joanna Reynolds, who is in the cleaning industry, and you take care of people. And in the
Yes,
last
sir.
couple of years, your business has tripled.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's your business is looking for help. And at the end of the show, we'll make sure we have show notes where you can reach out to Jojo and find out who she is and where she is. And what about house cleaning as a gift? Yeah, I mean, I think house cleaning is important.
Hmm.
But do you have people that do your service as a gift to others?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I know you give it as a gift, but what about slobs like me who bring take care of their families by bringing it as a gift? Is that a common
Yes,
thing?
sir. I have actually had 22 people take advantage of my gift certificates for the Christmas holidays.
Oh wow, okay.
Nice.
So you're elevating your own game, doing things like Christmas gifts or Christmas certificates.
Yes.
That's smart, man. So from a marketing standpoint, that you've done 300 one-on-ones in a year, and you've tripled your business. I think you've probably figured that out a little bit.
Oh, yes. And I don't generally plug my business when I do the one-on-ones. I mean, they ask me what I do, and I guess in just telling them that, I mean, I just like to take care of people. That's kind of what I was raised to do.
Yeah.
And I guess they either refer me out to someone else or they ask me to come and do a one-on-one or a consult or whatever.
Right. Very cool. Well, so I want to hear a little bit about your family. I know. So you've got 122 kids. It sounds like.
I gave birth to 3 boys, Michael, Gabriel, and Colin. They are 27, 25, and 22, and they were my world up until they decided that parents are no longer cool, as most teenagers do.
Sure.
Um, my middle one, as I said earlier, brought home everyone. I lovingly adopted over 40 children.
Wow.
And
I
then
think that's awesome.
as they got too old to need mama anymore full time, I needed little ones around. And so I lovingly adopted some friends' kids and became mama. And then my middle one is the only one that's given me any grandkids, thank God. The other 2 are misses. Um, I have 3 biological grandchildren, a 7-year-old granddaughter, a 6-year-old grandson, and a 4-year-old grandson. And then I have 2 step grandsons that are 10 and 5 from one of my lovingly adopted daughters that is now my stepdaughter. And so, but outside of that, I have about 65 lovingly adopted grandkids. So yeah, I
Wow.
claim,
Okay. So
Wow.
to me, that's the good life.
yes, it is.
And I mean the holidays and birthdays and stuff that you get to celebrate. That's the good life. I
It
mean, to me,
is.
I don't know. It's about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
I think you thought you were joking when you said 100 plus, but it is.
Well, it'll
It's
get there. I mean,
pretty close.
you got to have goals,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Well, so and you're married.
Yes, I'm married to a wonderful man who showed up one day with my gorgeous engagement ring
All
and
right.
riding my 2001 Yamaha Virago and said, "Here, will you marry me?"
And
Hey.
and you said yes.
Oh yeah,
Okay. So that was
Yeah, just double checking.
Yeah.
yeah. We just celebrated our 6th wedding anniversary. We've
Wow.
been together almost 13 years.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Very
Well,
cool.
congratulations on that. And so he's
Thank
bought
you.
into all the grandchildren
Oh yeah,
concept.
oh yeah.
So he just eats that up.
He loves the grandkids. They drive him nuts if they're there for more than about 24 hours, but he loves them.
Okay. Well, I want to go back to housekeeping, and I think that a lot of people have a conception of what that means in their brain. What does it mean to you? The word housekeeping.
Well, in my
And
opinion,
how far does that go in your business with what you guys do for your clients?
for me, housekeeping is a myriad of things. It can be anything from just needing someone to come in and do the dishes or clean a bathroom because they don't like to do toilets. Um, but it can also mean doing as much as helping you get ready for a move, packing, unpacking if you just moved, making sure you can get your deposit back, or
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
even to the degree that I've got a client whose dog is nervous when it storms. She had to go and check on her sister, and her husband was there with the dog, and it was bad for several days. And the dog was losing her mind. And he's like, I don't know what to do. I was like, her medicine's right here. You just break one in half and put some in her dog food, and she eats it, and then she goes and takes a nap, and she's calm. That's not something that most housekeeping services would pay attention to.
It's almost
And
house management then.
kind of.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically what
Yeah.
I market, is that I'm not just there to clean your house.
Right.
I want to know you. I want to know that when I'm there, you feel completely safe,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that.
and that if something is put up somewhere, that I know where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't require that my clients pick up and straighten up. I mean, God forbid, I'd like to not do a week's worth of dishes. But if you had a rough night because the baby was sick, please don't freak out that the dishes haven't been done from the night before.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of people like they clean the house before the housekeeper gets there.
They do.
Yeah, right.
So many
Yeah.
people.
Is that weird?
I think it's insane. Like, why would you pay me to come and clean your house when you're going to take the 10 minutes to clean off the counters in the kitchen?
Mhm.
Why not just wipe it down yourself and save the money?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
We humans are peculiar. Like
Yeah.
we do some
Yeah.
funny things.
now, I mean, again, I'd rather not pick up your husband's dirty underwear, and I'd rather
Right.
not smell nasty socks, but it's a part of the job, so if it's there, it's not going to get left.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Got
there
it.
you go.
All right. Well, let's do something a little more fun. Tell us about hobbies. I know you ride motorcycles.
I do. I love
think
motorcycles.
I think that's awesome.
Prior to to dating my husband, I was scared to death of him, but now I love him.
Right.
We ride in for toy runs, Make-A-Wish, just out for a Sunday ride. He surprised me one day and came home and said, let's ride to go see your dad. So we took off the last week of January and drove all the way to Amarillo, Texas,
On your motorcycles.
on his motorcycle.
On his motorcycle. Okay.
Mine wouldn't go that far. I mean,
Okay.
it was 250.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
The engine's not big enough to sustain going that far.
Right.
But yeah, we froze to death. I thought for sure that we were literally going to freeze to death on the highway home, but we made it home and it was great.
And that was out in Amarillo where you drove to?
Yeah.
You ever go to Cadillac Ranch out there?
Yes.
Have you heard of that, Kenneth?
Yeah. I have.
When I hear Amarillo, I get triggered for Cadillac Ranch.
Bum, bum, bum.
Some group buried 20 Cadillacs on their nose, and
Yeah,
people
yeah.
go paint them.
Yeah,
I
it's crazy.
actually was raised about 11 miles from there.
Okay, so have you painted your initials on any of the cars?
No, my dad wouldn't let us. He
Oh,
said it was graffiti.
Well, it was. That's what it's there for. But I did
Yeah,
that
yeah.
just in April. I was driving through Amarillo, and I stopped and painted mine and Katie's initials on one of the cars.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was funny when I stopped by there just how much paint there actually is.
oh, yeah.
Like, it's cool to see photos from a few feet back, and then you get up there and you look at it, and it's like, oh, this is layers and layers and layers.
It is layers.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty interesting. So, okay, so you've got a busy business. You're busy with family. I think this is one of the biggest questions that we probably talk about on this show is how do you balance, your hobbies and your family and your business and your faith and all the things that you do and all the people you take care of? How do you, is there some magic to balancing? Is it a scheduling trick that you know? Tell us how you balance your life, Jojo.
Most of it is that I literally put everything I'm supposed to do in my phone calendar.
Right.
From reminding me to call my mom at the hospital to make sure she's okay, or reminding me to stop at the grocery store to pick up something for dinner.
Right.
If it does not go in my phone, it does not get done. I joke all the time that if my phone doesn't tell me to shower, it doesn't get done. If my phone doesn't tell me to take out dinner, we don't have dinner that night because nothing got taken out.
Oh, so you're very schedule driven.
Very schedule driven.
Okay, I think that's awesome. Do you put in there, like, do you take care of your own house?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. It tells me every morning when I get up that I'm supposed to, what steps I'm supposed to go through every morning, and it's in there for every day of the week, down to what I'm supposed to do every night before I go to bed.
Right, because what doesn't get done today
Gets done tomorrow,
yeah,
or
or
is
still there.
yeah.
Okay, very cool. So let's talk about on a more personal level. What's a great day for you?
I would say that, I mean, there's different kinds. There would be a professional great day or a personal great day. I mean, a great day for me is any day that I can help someone or that I can enjoy my life and just not feel stressed out.
Right.
It would include, of course, my grandkids. I think I have a great day almost every 4th of July. My mom was born July 9th, so we celebrate her birthday, and 90% of my life is all about my mama.
Yeah?
So we have a big deal, and the grandkids are there, and they're outside, and we're playing, and then we get to see the sky light up, and it's just amazing.
All right. Well, we're going to ask you one more question, then we want to get a nugget from you for all the business owners out there listening. And I like moments. Like I'm a big believer because in my own life, I've had moments where I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go do this thing. And you had you had a background where you tried a few things. Did you? Was there one moment where the light bulb clicked on and you had an aha moment where it like everything just sort of lined up for you? Was there one thing or a moment that happened?
Yeah, in March, I was working for that last housekeeping service, and I was at a customer's house, and she was like, you know, we're having a party coming up, and I was looking to see if I could get someone to help me set up for that.
Right.
And I was like, well, that doesn't fall within the parameters of what the company offers. And she goes, so would you be able to do that? And I was like, I don't know. She goes, I'm not offering a housekeeper. I'm not looking for a housekeeper. I just want someone who can help me do things that I don't have time to do.
Right.
Or that I don't have the ability to do. And it was in that moment I thought, I don't want to tell people that I can't help them with anything that they needed.
Right.
So I was looking to start a service that wasn't, see, prior to that, it was just about housekeeping.
Right.
It wasn't about helping people.
Right.
And then it dawned on me at that moment that I needed to market myself as basically a house assistant, whatever it is that someone needs. And that would be the ticket in making my business more successful, because there wouldn't be a checklist. There's not a checklist.
Right, and that's why you have the name Looking for Help. It's not just house. It's not just house cleaning.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm in favor. I think that's a great idea.
I have a mom that had a little one. She was pregnant and she was looking for a deep clean before the baby was born. So I went and talked to her, and she's like, I don't know what I need. I just know that I need stuff done. Fast forward to the baby being born, Mom was a mess. She hadn't showered in 3 days. I was coming once a month. She was like, but it's not enough. Look at this place. And I seriously spent 9 hours in that house.
Right.
And she's like, so what do I owe you? And I was like, the normal. And she was like, but you spent so much. No. And I was like, I mean, that's part of the gig.
Right.
And so she talked to her husband, and he agreed that I would come weekly after that instead of monthly. And so I showed up the next week, and she was still in the same clothes.
Oh.
Like she had not even showered. She hadn't didn't look like she had slept. So I was like, here, why don't I take her and you take a shower? And she came back out an hour later and had fallen asleep in the bathtub.
Good.
Woke up
Good for her.
thinking she was drowning. And so she was very shocked to find the baby laying on a blanket on the floor, just as happy as could be.
Right.
And her entire living room was clean. She goes, how did you? I can't get anything done with her. I'm like, but I'm not Mama.
Right.
She knows that Mama will pick her up every time she makes a noise. I'm not Mama.
Yeah.
And it works. And so I market whatever someone needs.
Yeah.
All right. We're here today with Jojo Reynolds, and her business is looking for help. Jojo, give us a business nugget that an entrepreneur could use, or a family, or anybody striving to take the next step towards the better life.
Number one, live your life. Don't just survive it.
Yeah. Okay.
Number two, your house might not be as clean as you think it should be, but I promise you it's not as bad as the next one. And if anyone's coming to your home to judge you, then you probably don't want them there.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah.
If somebody's going to judge you in your home, you don't want them there. Well, Jojo, we appreciate you being here today on the Cashflows podcast. And for those of you that are checking in, we want to thank you for joining us today. Thank you to our sponsors. Man, where would we be without those people that are lifting this show up for all the others to hear? And so thanks again for being here. Jojo Reynolds with Looking for Help here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we're thankful, man. What a great time we're having here at the Cashflows podcast. And thank you, Mr. Kenneth, for
You're welcome.
putting up with all the nonsense.
Yes.
He's the perfect guy to put up with all the nonsense. So anyway, so thanks for stopping by. And until we have our next show, you all make good choices. I think be nice to each other.
Amen.
Amen. Be nice to each other. And today, if it makes sense, find one person and forgive them, even if they don't deserve it. Because at the end of the day, isn't that kind of how the world works in our favor? Is it we've been forgiven? And
it should work that way anyway, because you're going to screw up, so you may as well give forgiveness so that you can get forgiveness.
Yeah, and I think forgiveness is something that you do for yourself, so that you're not carrying around the baggage of.
Yeah.
And I think that makes the world a better place, and I think each of you make the world a better place, and thank you for being here. And I want to reach out to the three people that continue to go onto mine and Kenneth's Facebook page and like all of our posts. We want to thank you guys, and we are heading over to Quick Trip in a minute for a slushie. We'll meet you guys over there. Cool? Alrighty. Thank you for being here. Have a great day.
That's our show for today. Stay tuned for another riveting edition of Cash Flows.